Car dealers tell these 5 lies every single day, and if you don't know them, you might overpay by thousands. My dad sold cars for 40 plus years. Let's break them down. The first lie, Dad, by
Yes.
the extended warranty, you're going to get a better interest rate on that auto loan. This is a lie. You should not fall for it. Help us understand what's going on here.
So here's the thing you have to remember. Dealers make a ton of money when they sell you a product in the back, whether it's dent and ding repair, an extended warranty, whatever it is. So they're going to push really, really hard. And one of the ways they push is they'll offer you a cheaper interest rate if you agree to buy all these extras that you may not want. What you didn't realize is if they're offering you a cheaper rate, if you buy those things, they can offer you that rate whether you buy those things or not. Buying those things, tying those things to a lower rate is called tied selling, and that's illegal.
Yeah, not only is it a lie, it's fraud. And to your point, Dad, it's a lie that some dealerships end up using because it's a really effective way to convince a customer to buy the warranty they may not have otherwise wanted. But that's why it's something you have to watch out for. If a dealer says, oh, well, we can get the bank to approve an even lower interest rate if you buy the warranty, red flag, your guard's going up immediately. And you're saying, no, I'll just take the lower interest rate. I don't want the extended warranty. Like you said, tied selling. And unfortunately, a lie that gets uttered at the dealership from time to time. Line number 2, Pops, it's another way for car dealers to make extra money on a car deal. You'll hear the line, well, those add-ons, those extra products, they're required, like the desert package and the window tint and the nitrogen tires. Well, all of that's required on all of our vehicles. That's a lie that dealers tell all too often.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's not required. They decided that they would like to put it on it. You know how you can find out it's really a lie? Say you want to order the vehicle and then they tell you, but we have to add all this stuff when it comes in because, well, this goes on every one of our vehicles. Well, if it hasn't been installed yet before the car came in, it means you don't have to put it on the one I'm buying. It's a choice that the dealer is making to force customers to buy items they didn't want for extra profit. It's an absolute lie. Try not to fall for it.
I mean, Dad, you sold cars for a long, long time. When we were in Arizona, I think you've told me that desert package was a real thing that you put on vehicles. But if a customer came in and said, I want the vehicle without the desert package, you're selling the car either way, right?
I would never let the accessories that I put on a car stop me from selling the car if the customer didn't want those items. It meant that the sales department ate those items, not the customer.
Yeah, ate the cost of installing those on the vehicle. The third one, Dad, the third lie you might hear at the dealership. Well, I'm sorry, folks, we got to sell you the car at MSRP. The manufacturer says so. That is a lie. New cars do not have to be sold at MSRP.
Oh, absolutely. That's a lie. And you know what you can do when the dealer, the salesperson utters that lie to you? Say, well, if that's the case, then why are we adding $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in additional dealer markup when the vehicles were in short supply? If the manufacturer insists that you sell it for MSRP, then why was it okay for you to sell it for $10,000 over MSRP? Absolute lie. It's a manufacturer's suggested retail price. It's not the retail price. In this country, the retail price of an automobile is negotiable.
Absolutely. Do not fall for that one. Now, on the used car side of things, you may hear a line like this. Well, folks, this vehicle is coming out to $28,000 with all taxes and fees. And as you can see here, we have a reconditioning fee that gets applied to all our vehicles to make sure they're showroom ready. That is a lie. The reconditioning fee does not show up on the total price of the vehicle that you're paying for. This is a BS fee.
The reconditioning fee is already factored into the asking price of the car. It is not a separate line item. And if the dealership is trying to charge you a reconditioning fee, you need to find a different dealership. Okay, it's that simple. There are dealerships all over the country that are pulling this stunt. And, well, I guess the reason they're pulling it is way too many people fall for it.
Dad, can you explain what is reconditioning? Because that's kind of an industry term. Let's break that down for folks.
Well, reconditioning is when you take in a used car, whether you buy the car at the auction or you trade the car from a customer. Guess what? It needs work to be brought up to standards for sale. There has to be a state inspection done. If it turns out that it needs brakes, well, guess what? You have to do the brakes. If it needs tires, you have to do tires. If it needs cosmetic work because there's some dents and dings, then there's paintless dent repair that needs to be done. The average cost when I was still selling cars, when I was still managing dealerships, the average cost was somewhere between $1,000 to $1,500 in reconditioning on every used car that was sold. Okay, the car goes into the shop, you find out what it needs. The used car manager either approves it or disapproves. If he disapproves, he sends it to the auction. If he approves what needs to be done, it gets done, and that gets added to the cost. And then, based on the cost, is how they determine what the asking price is. So, reconditioning, bringing the car up to safety standards and cosmetic standards, is just part and parcel of any used car that's being sold. It's not a separate line item. It's built into the cost of the vehicle, and it's built into the asking price.
Yeah, I think the lie here is you'll see this just as a blanket fee of 1,000, 2,000, whatever the number is that the dealership says, oh, all used cars get this. But to your point, Dad, it's already baked in to the selling price of the vehicle, and it should not be and is not a separate line item. That's where the lie becomes a lie. Now, Dad, the fifth and final car dealership lie that we're covering in this video would be
Yeah.
that, well, this is the best price you're going to get right here, right now, in this very moment. I'm sure you and your sales staff in the past used that line to try and close customers. Is it ever actually the best price you're going to get right now? This is take it or leave it, do it.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Mostly not. But let me give you this sometimes. If it's the last day of the month and you're utilizing some manufacturer incentives that expire that day, then that very well could be, well, this is absolutely the best price because tomorrow there's no guarantee that we're going to have these incentives. And if you come in tomorrow and we don't have the incentives and you want me to apply them and backdate everything, well, you know what? I can't do that. That's fraud. So there are times when it's real. Now, let me say, if it's the third day of the month, my guess is that whatever price I gave you today isn't necessarily the best price. The reason dealerships use that line is they want to push you as hard as they can in order to get a car deal today. Most dealerships are convinced that if they let you leave, they will never see you again. Okay. You're going to go to another dealership, whether it's the same brand or a different brand, and ultimately you're going to end up buying a car somewhere else. So they use the fear of missing out. If you need to buy this right now, if you don't buy, can't guarantee you this price. You come back tomorrow, it's going to be more. We're going to have to start this process all over again. The customer, "Oh, I don't want to have to go over this again." So it's just a scare tactic to get you to buy something today. As I used to tell my customers, if I still have this car tomorrow and it's not a new month, then that price that I gave you today is good tomorrow or until I sell that car or until the incentives go away.
Comment below what lies you've heard at the dealership or if you've experienced one of the 5 we shared today. And if you know someone buying a car, if you're buying a car, share this video, help them out. Don't let them fall prey to these tactics. And a final note here, Dad, customers lie too. Okay. So we just got to call a spade a spade. This happens on both sides of the transaction. That being said, don't go into a dealership and lie and mislead people. If you're going to buy a car, use our tools, subscribe to the channel, learn about the out the door price, all that fun stuff. Be informed and knowledgeable. Don't go in there and lie and cheat and steal. Don't play the same games that some of these dealerships play. Find a reputable dealer, get a deal done. It doesn't have to be so adversarial.
It does not. That was one of the things I used to try to impress upon my salespeople and the customers. It should be a collaborative experience, not an adversarial one. And as soon as we can make it collaborative, then guess what? We're all working towards the same goal and we'll get there. If we leave it as adversarial, nobody's really happy at the end.